afternoon. Good afternoon. How do? We gotta go back at it again. In this session, we're gonna talk about what you call fraud on the court. Basically, this is at the, how would you say, officers of the court. Okay? And there's only the judge, who's the ordinary person, and then the two agents as far as the plaintiff attorney and the defendant's attorney, plaintiff representative and defendant's representative. Those are the main three officers of the court. We're going to stick to their guidelines, which is judge is canons. Okay, the judges are subject to canons, as well as the lawyers. Okay, they are also subject to canons. The canons are basically their code of conduct, or basically it's the code of how would you say, professionalism and their responsibilities. Okay, so they're subject to their canons where they cannot step out of line. To prove this is what you have is called in New York State is the Judicial Code of Conduct, Part 1200, for lawyers and attorneys and counsel. This is basically their guidelines and how they must operate. Okay, the fact of the code of conduct, or the fact of their actions. Okay, we're gonna go to the situation where the plaintiff attorney, the employer's attorney, submitted documents to the court that were fraudulent. So to do this, set action for them to do it. See, the key thing is once the labor relations director gave their representative the documents, and their representative attorney went over the documents, they could see that it was fraud there. So the mere appearance of any fraud would constitute violations of Canons 9. Lawyers are to, how would you say? Let's keep it simple. Lawyers are to avoid fraud of the appearance of impropriety, right? Or they are supposed to avoid impropriety, even the appearance of an impropriety. Period. Canons 9. So the individual who gave their attorney these documents, that's fraud. So when they submitted these to the court, as evidence, now it's on the record. So basically, they have to send a copy of this document to the defendant's attorney, who's supposed to know as a litigations attorney. These documents, in their investigation, these documents you submitted basically are fraudulent. They're in violation of Civil Service Law Section 75B, because the individual filed a complaint. Okay, and with that, under the whistleblower, is in violation of all three: the Civil Service Law, New York Labor Law, and the local law, number 33. So, under the whistleblower, you wasn't supposed to take any adverse actions. But you're taking adverse actions. We're going to go with that. But you're using fraudulent documents. Said action to continue in court will bring about fraud on the court. It wasn't entered to the judge. It was entered to the attorney. Now, the defending attorney was supposed to take actions and said, based on Judicial Code of Conduct, Part 1200, we're going to go to number 3.3, which is your conduct and their conduct within the tribunal, within the court. Then they're supposed to go to 4.1, their truthfulness, okay, and their honesty. Let's move forward. They're supposed to go up to, under Judicial Code of Conduct, part 1200. We're going to go to 4.3. Under 4.3, the defendant's attorney or litigation representative was supposed to say they're submitting fraudulent information on the court. So submitting that fraudulent information on the court basically gets that tossed out, and they don't have a case. So the judge is supposed to squash it right there. Understand that word. Now, we're going to move forward to the litigation's officer, representative for the defendant, not doing his part and letting the other attorney submit said documents. To do so and to continue with this, even with the judge, under the judge's canons, too, they are to, how would you say, avoid impropriety and even the appearance of impropriety. Same as a lawyer. But the mere actions for these three amigos to continue by violation of their canons, which constitutes ultra-virus. You cannot continue in court. It's beyond your powers. Your canons say so. To continue to do so, you lose your immunity. All three. To render a decision by the judge, definitely lose your immunity because of the fact you're stepping out of your jurisdiction. Yes. Said actions is when you do this act of ultra-virus, when you step out of your jurisdiction, you lose your immunity because you went beyond your canons. Okay? That opens the door from that civil matter to go to a criminal matter. Because what happens with the lawyers, and the judge is really basically a lawyer, what happens with them is that once it goes over to the criminal matter, they're now charged with judicial code of conduct, misconduct, which falls under subsection 487, which is a Class A misdemeanor. Yeah, you can Google this. It ain't hard. You can Google this. Now, the key fact is in doing this, in proceeding, this gives the defendant the right to sue. You know, to sue his representing attorney, as well as the employer and their representing attorney for fraud upon the court. See, the fraud upon the court is like the ship can't sail. It's just been torpedoed. Can't sail. Why? It comes to the fact of clean hands. You must come into equity, which court is equity, with clean hands. To come there with fraudulent documents, you got a fraudulent manifest. How you going to set sail on a ship for trade with a fraudulent manifest? Can't do that. Can't do that. So that's out right there. Then you got to go to the fact of They say you could appeal, like Article 78, you can appeal the situation as far as the decision in the court. There is no decision because there's fraud. You don't go back to court to say, I'm going to appeal this and then try to give them the opportunity to take another dirty swing at you. No, you present the mere facts that everything they did was fraudulent. So those that was placed in a higher authority, that was supposed to sit there with authority, to give just, was fraudulent as well? No. Once we show that the whole case was fraudulent, substantive and substantial right goes into the natural person who's twice as strong as that straw man. You need to do your homework on this. Once you learn, it's comical because you wouldn't believe that these people who's placed in a position of authority would do such a thing. But it does, it goes on every day. Think about what's going on right now. This goes on every day, you know, where rights are violated. You know, you got to think about today. The people are demanding their rights. They're not asking for their right. They demand it. You cannot set it up for one and then not set it up for the other. Wrong. Wrong. Especially when they both put out basically the same amount or one put out more. And that's the one of which you would call of lesser value. What? Let's go back to these people and their actions. Okay? So we already established the fact that, you know, fraud upon the court, you know, of his agents, basically tells you this is a no-fly zone. Under their rules, you must use their rules. You must use their corporate compliance policy. You can't use your own. You can't make up anything. You get the lawyers' code of professionalism and responsibility. You get the judges' code of professionalism and responsibility. You get the state code of judicial code of conduct. Weigh that against them on there. Drop down Black's Law's dictionary. Use that. You'll find out where they screwed up and how they violated their code of conduct. Hang them on that. They hang you on code of conduct. You must hang them on their code of conduct. Like I said, once again, if they violate the code of conduct, then they lose their immunity. And they become subject to suit because they lost their immunity. Okay? They violated their own corporation. Rules and regulations of their corporation. Okay? And they're going to try to hold you accountable for something that they did that's illegal? No, not at all. So, in closing, you know the real deal. If you could bring about the facts and prove the facts on every level where they violated, then the facts cannot be, how do you say, altered or denied. And on that note, have a wonderful day. I'm out.